could easily take away everything you've given me. And I try to remember not to take anything for granted, 'cause I know that one day suddenly this will all come to an end. So my last wish is for you to be pleased with me. Allah, yeah, Allah, guide me all the way to your Jannah. Yeah, Allah, yeah, Allah, don't let me go astray, 'cause I need you by my side. I wish to be close to you throughout my life. Yeah, Allah, oh Allah, be with me all the way. Hey, I know that sometimes I do forget that my next breath could be the last. Forgive me, 'cause
For our last story tonight, let me talk about our planet, the Earth. Apparently, we humans are tilting it. We're tilting the Earth. When we picture it, we imagine a perfect sphere, but that's not the case. Our planet looks more like a lumpy potato. And this is a potato that's constantly spinning at the top. But what happens when you move enough mass from one place to another? The planet wobbles, which is what's happening. Our Earth's axis has shifted.
Yeah, your human spiking. How can I tell? Well, obviously there's pressure on the ionosphere. That's how. See that? That's not a pole shift. That's a magnetic influence on the fucking planet that made us tilt onto our side, and your fucking sky's rolling. It's that simple. If you don't get it, you're fucking dead. And I really don't care. If you're that goddamn stupid, you don't need to be around. The fucking globe is on fire. Those aren't hot spots. The fucking globe is on fire. It's December, motherfuckers. You have a bunch of hollow fucking branches breaking off because they can't handle the weight of the leaves, and they're laying around in the forests with no one to pick them up. It's a fucking fire hazard. Get used to it. Yeah, there's an awful lot of earthquakes. 12 5s to 6. That's a pretty good amount of quakes there, folks. I remember telling you this is going to happen. And y'all motherfuckers still out there talking about pole shift. Well, you're about as dumb as a box of fucking rocks then, aren't you? And that's about all I got for you. Tell them, Chico. Now, I got people telling me all the time, oh, it's hard to tell people anything. You know what? I'm going to show you one more time. I've got pictures. See that guy? There's your conical hat and your little cobra and your eyeball. Guess what? Someone's seen that before, haven't they? And I'll always get a, oh yeah. See that? That came out in the CME behind the fucking planet Earth. Note the angles on it. Kind of looks like the sun holding a planet, doesn't it? Oh yeah. Here, let me show you this. See the magnetosphere? The dot? The short end, the long end of the V-neck? Looks like a motherfucking V-neck sweater right there, doesn't it? Look at the day shot in the ultraviolet sensor array. That right there is a fucking sun flare. That right there is an overlay by a computer. They don't lens flare. This one's got 1, 2, 3, 4 holes in it. That's our sun. That's a big red sun with 4 planets in it that are larger than Jupiter. Well, looky there. There's that same sun holding a planet with a long end and a short end of the V-neck sweater, just like his magnetosphere. And he's blue. Must be an ultraviolet blue spectrum sun. And it's not a ball game. That's fucking 1, 2, 3, 4 holes in that fucking red sun's magnetosphere. There's our little sun. There's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and so on. 1748 hertz human biological field. 1748 hertz on a metal plate. Looks just like it did back then, doesn't it? Huh? What you got to say about that shit, huh? How about this? Motherfucking somebody knew. You didn't, did you? You fucking out there talking all kinds of fucking pole shift. You don't even know fucking your dick from a hole in the ground. The fuck are you talking about? It's a goddamn giraffe, people.
Well, this morning we are learning about a shift in the Earth's inner core that sounds like the plot of a Hollywood blockbuster. Scientists say our planet's solid core, which is actually disconnected from the rest of the Earth's layers, may actually have stopped rotating and could even reverse course. This is a new study. It was published Monday in the journal Nature Geoscience, and its authors, who are based in Beijing, took a very close look at the seismic waves from earthquakes that have passed through our planet's core since the 1960s, and that is how they were able to calculate the speed at which the inner core is spinning. Are you confused? I am. We're going to get to understand this a little bit better with our guest. Let's bring in Michio Kaku, who's a professor of theoretical physics at the City University of New York. Professor, good morning. Thank you.
Morning. Glad to be on.
What does this mean?
Well, at first it sounds like something from a Hollywood movie.
Right.
The script says, oh my God, the core of the Earth is spinning backwards. I mean, this is worse than having a tsunami or an earthquake. The stability of what you walk on is at stake. Now, this report comes not from Hollywood. It comes from reputable scientists at Beijing University that analyze echoes. When an earthquake takes place, shock waves go reverberating around the inside of the Earth. And by analyzing these echoes with computers, you can recreate a model of the inside of the Earth. And sure enough, the core seems to be about to spin backwards.
Okay, but I read that this happens every 70 years, so we don't need to be alarmed?
That's right. The bad news is that we know very little about the core of the Earth, very little about what's underneath our feet. The good news is probably there's nothing to worry about, in the sense that roughly every 70 years or so, we're not sure, the center of the Earth does seem to go backwards. If this is the core, this is the crust of the Earth that we live on.
Yes.
This is the core of the Earth. The core could move independently of the crust. That's the key.
So the part we're on never moves in reverse.
Yeah, so the core of the Earth sits in a pool of like molasses, and it's able to spin independently of the crust of the Earth. So, in other words, don't lose any sleep over this. Probably it's a natural cycle. It takes place probably once every 70 years or so. But we need more data because this is new territory for us.
Yeah, why do we need to know? I mean, they spent a lot of time, they studied earthquakes back to the 60s. Why is it important to know more about this? What are the implications?
The implications are potentially enormous because think of continental drift.
Sure.
Why are the continents moving away from each other? What is driving it? And also earthquakes, the whole nature of the stability of the planet itself. We know very little about what's underneath our feet. And that's why this information from echoes, computer analyzed, is very important because it tells us the future of the Earth.
What questions, finally, Professor, does this leave you with?
Well, it leaves me with the frustration that it's under our feet. It's just, you can almost touch it, but it is thousands of miles distant, and we really don't know that much about our home. We know more about other planets than we do about the center of the Earth.
That's so interesting.
Like Mars, for example, is probably frozen over, not much earthquake activity at all. So we know a fair amount about Mars. We know very little about the Earth because the Earth is dynamic. Things are moving and churning at the center of the Earth. That's why we have earthquakes. That's why we have continental drift and volcanoes.
Yeah. Volcanoes, my son's favorite thing. He likes to make them with baking soda and vinegar in the kitchen these days. Thank you, Professor. I now understand it much better. We appreciate it.